Let's move on to talking about dopamine.
Okay. So dopamine, people think it's the pleasure chemical, but the pleasure chemical are opioids, and you don't want to touch opioids. Don't do that. Don't stimulate your opioid receptors in any way that's not completely natural, is my advice. But dopamine is the compulsion chemical. It's what says, okay, we're doing something and let's keep doing it, or let's do that, or okay, I have this idea. I think it would be fun to go to the beach today. Okay. Yeah, I believe it will be good to go to the beach. I'm planning to go to the beach. I'm at the beach. That's dopamine, right? And if people who have like excessive amounts of dopamine kind of get ideas and kind of go from believing them to doing them really quickly. So so it's one of these things where it's sort of like I have an idea, I'm planning it, I'm doing it, and I'm continuing to do it. So it's really important for motivation. If the low levels of dopamine, there's no motivation to do anything. Too much, and you get really excited about everything. Like people, really into like stimulants, like they spend a lot of time excessively doing things that aren't really worthwhile. So, so the way I kind of approach this is I say, well, instead of directly stimulating all these dopamine pathways, let's see how the body naturally takes the precursors to dopamine, phenylalanine and tyrosine, and then turns them to all the intermediate products along the way and creates dopamine, and also breaks down dopamine. So, so the way that works is in dopamine brain food, we start out with the dopamine precursors, right? Phenylalanine, which also turns into, which stimulates, it either turns into tyrosine or it turns into a product that stimulates the TAR1 receptor, which is what Adderall stimulates. But it's on a natural level, and the body knows how to break it down and regulate it. So, I mean, that phenylalanine is important for that, basically fueling that. And that there's phenylalanine in eggs and most, meats and cheeses and dairy products and that kind of thing. So it's a natural amino acid that we get in our diet. And then vitamin B6 is responsible for as a cofactor for helping the process of turning tyrosine into dopamine. And in between tyrosine and dopamine, there's L-dopa. And I was thinking, look, maybe I put meconiopruins in there, which is L-dopa. But then I was thinking, nah, it's better to let the body decide how much L-dopa it needs by kind of turning up the upregulating or downregulating tyrosine hydroxylase, rather than just skipping that step. And that's an important thing that I try to be mindful of, is I don't want to skip metabolic steps. I want the body to have a way to regulate these intermediate steps, and to use natural ingredients that the body knows how to move around, and get rid of excesses of and so forth, rather than anything sort of synthetic or that the body's not used to. So then vitamin C is, everybody loves vitamin C, besides being an antioxidant and having a lot of brain health benefits. It is used to transfer between dopamine and the later stages of dopamine metabolism, like epinephrine and norepinephrine. And so then there's a methylation complex, and methylation is this cycle in the body that is responsible for a lot of metabolic processes. And one of the processes is breaking down dopamine into the later stages of dopamine metabolism, and eventually, the dopamine's broken down and excreted in the urine, and so it helps. Same with adrenaline and noradrenaline. And so the way that works is, you have this SAM cycle where it goes from like SAMe to homocysteine to methionine, and it just goes around in a circle. And vitamin B12, trimethylglycine, and folate all are important cofactors in this process. It's pretty complicated. But yeah, I wrote a couple of papers on it and how all the little pieces work. I mean, there's, I've got this, the Roche, the drug company, puts out this metabolic cycles, and they've got like this huge map of like all these, how one thing turns into another and so forth. So that's how dopamine brain food works. And it's basically there to just make sure that you have all the cofactors and inputs to really power the whole processing of dopamine.
Wasting my time.
You just can't help yourself, can you?